Oh, I don't think Marvel can do one wrong thing. Well, except Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. It's kind of just a guilty pleasure. Guys, what's up? My name is Zach, and I'm bringing you my review of Luke Cage, the new Netflix Marvel series that people have brought us, Daredevil and Jessica Jones and all those type of shows. So how does this show hold up to those other ones? I mean, those are some highly acclaimed shows. Does it reach that potential? Does it hit that potential? You know, Luke Cage is a very special character to me. I really do like the character of Luke Cage. I really liked him in Jessica Jones. I like him in some of the cartoon shows that we see in the Avengers Assemble and whatnot. And I also like some of his comic aspects. He's a very interesting character to me, and I really liked him. And when I heard that he was going to be put in Jessica Jones, it intrigued me. It made me excited, and I couldn't wait to see how they do it. Now here I am talking about how does this whole series show up? Well, I gotta say this. At first, I actually wasn't too impressed with Luke Cage. It had caught my attention, and it was a Marvel show, so I really did want to watch the show and get it done with and see where the story goes. But it really didn't catch my attention at first. But I'll get to that in a second. Let me first off and say that there is going to be no spoilers in this. I'm going to try my best not to spoil anything, but there really won't be. I just want to kind of get my points of what I really thought of the series, who I thought of, and whatnot, and I'll go into what I think is going to happen in the ending with kind of what's going to happen in the future of Marvel series. So let's start off. Pretty much this takes place during the season of Daredevil 2 and right after Jessica Jones. This is where the timeline is. Some of it is a lot of flashbacks of you getting to see where Luke Cage had come from, and I really did enjoy that. It opened up the world more to me, and it showed more of how did this man get his powers and some stuff that I didn't even really remember from the comics and stuff that I'd read about. But it was a very intriguing background history, and I really liked that about Luke Cage, especially all the prison stuff that showed him in prison, all that whole processing and stuff, and it really did open it up a lot for Luke Cage, and a lot of it is if you have seen Jessica Jones, I think the show will be even more enhanced for you. For me, if you're going to watch it, it has to be Daredevil Season 1, then Jessica Jones, and then you either go to Luke Cage or Daredevil Season 2. Mostly I'd say Daredevil Season 2 and then Luke Cage, to just follow the order and how everything came out. I think you'll pretty much follow along pretty well with the whole thing. A lot of it isn't very cohesive, you could watch them separately, but I do think it adds more to the story and the little Easter eggs and stuff that you can hear. But overall, the performances. The guy who plays Luke Cage is phenomenal. Mike Coulter, he's great as Luke Cage. He steals the show. It's his show. He stole the scenes in Jessica Jones, and I think Jessica Jones didn't really get to show his potential for powers and how strong this man is. This guy's literally bulletproof. This guy will not die, and the way he is so badass. The way he punches and all that stuff, it's just great. The action scenes in this, were a little bit disappointed by it. I think they could have been better, but I mean, they're going up against a man who's a Superman, pretty much. Can't fly, but he's super strong and beat the hell out of everyone. So I understand that the action scenes were pretty much bam, 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 done, and that's it. Breaks all their bones, whatnot. That's how it pretty much goes. It's very cut. It's not like Daredevil where it's ha-cha, 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 just back and forth, just hitting them multiple times till they finally get down. Or Jessica Jones. It's pretty much like Jessica Jones action, I would say. A little bit better than that. Story-wise, with the other characters in the show, you got Misty Knight, and I think at first, I was like, oh, really? Why we gotta have this lady? But I gotta say, as her story progressed, she became one of my favorites. You also got Claire Temple, played by Rosio from Daredevil and Jessica Jones, and she does a phenomenal job in here. She has actually a more meaty part than she did in Jessica and some of Daredevil. It's kind of like the same as Daredevil, but she really did have a meaty part and it added to Luke Cage's story, and I really did appreciate that. There were some rushed things in here. I will get back to that in a second, but what I will say is that Cottonmouth, God, that actor did a great job, and especially the girl who played his cousin, phenomenal job as well. I think all those people just did a great job. Almost everyone in here. There was a couple performances. Shade as one of the villains. He kind of was like, I feel like you're playing too much of a cartoon character, but I'm fine with that. It kind of went along with this when it got a little bit better. But with Luke Cage being the story type, the action's pretty well in some scenes. Some of it does not look as well as it should have and wasn't shot as great. But I can forgive that because, I mean, for it not being an Avengers or Captain Winter Soldier, I think that's what I was expecting, and it wasn't. So I was just expecting a lot more kind of like the raw Daredevil type, but it was pretty good in some parts. especially one of the first ones that you see in this little diner area. It's such a great scene, and I think everyone will really enjoy that scene. Other thing is the music. Really enjoyed the music in this. It was different than the other ones, and the show has a very much of a different vibe. Some people call it kind of like The Wire. I haven't watched that show personally, but what I've heard that is that that's what people are calling it. And this show is very different from Jessica and Daredevil, and I really do appreciate it for that vibe that they went for, the music, the culture in this whole show, and it's very different, and I really did like that. This show is very great, and I do recommend it for anyone who's into these Marvel shows. And even if you haven't, I do really recommend Daredevil, Jessica Jones, and even this show. Now, is this the best one? No. I still think Daredevil Season 2 is one of the best shows Marvel has produced, but this ties up there with me with Jessica Jones, because at first, I didn't really like Luke Cage. I liked the show, it kind of started, but it wasn't something I really wanted to binge watch and destroy. But what I will say, there's an episode straight in the middle that caught my attention and said, okay, I gotta finish this. And I binge watched straight after that. I sat down and just watched every episode as much as I could. I did not want to stop. And it's really just great. It fleshes out each and every character. And I probably should say this, is that there is one other villain that is a big con to me in some senses. In some senses, I feel like they rushed him. And it's William Stryker, or other known as Diamondback. And that really did, I don't know what it was, but it didn't click with me. And as much as I kind of liked the character, at the same time, I didn't. And it was just something that I just felt like he was this mustache-twirling villain, and the background history was cool with it, but I feel like you could have done more with that character. And I feel like it was very rushed. Just getting him into the show, pushing him in, and I didn't like that in a sense. It kind of just didn't really matter to me. And I think you guys will also see this as well. But other than that, guys, Luke Cage, phenomenal job to Marvel, phenomenal job to everyone else in that show. I really am glad with this show. I'm going to have to say, I'm going to give Luke Cage a B+. Not my favorite Marvel show, but I am very anticipated for the next season of Luke Cage and to see where this character goes, whether it be in the Defenders or if he gets his next season before the Defenders. I think we're going to see him in the Defenders the next, but I got to say, fantastic job. I think this is just establishing where the Defenders are going to go and where the whole series is going to go in general. I honestly do think this is how Marvel's going to do it. I think next year they're going to try and push 3 shows out. I think we're going to get Iron Fist, Defenders, Punisher. Then we're going to get Daredevil, Jessica, Luke. And just keep going through that order. And I think that's a great job of what they should do. I think they'll start adding more characters and stuff. But other than that, Luke Cage, phenomenal job. Good job, Marvel. Can't wait to see what you guys bring out more. And if you guys enjoyed this, make sure to like and subscribe. Let me know what you guys thought of this video. Let me know what you thought of Luke Cage, because I'm very curious to see what people did. Do you guys actually enjoy the series, or was it kind of let down to you at first? Maybe you enjoyed it as it kept going on and got better. But other than that, guys, have a great rest of your guys' day, and I hope to get more reviews out to you guys soon.